Hello everyone, welcome back to Gray Brick Creations. My name is Michaela and today I'm going to be putting some vinyl on 2 glass cups that are going to be given as bridesmaids gifts. I haven't made a cup like this in quite a while, so as you can see I have to kind of dig through all my woodworking stuff and get those cups out of storage. Once I was able to get the box of cups out, I'm gonna just open it up, see how many I have left. Luckily I had 4 left and I only need 2 for today's project, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out of the box. The design I'm making today consists of a monogram of the bridesmaids' initials along with a lily on the back of the cup. Before I get this design into my Cricut design space, I want to measure around the cup, see where I need to center the initials, and then center the lily on the back of the cup accordingly. Once I have it all measured out, I'm going to get it in my design space and then get it ready to cut out on my Cricut. Since I am using permanent vinyl today, I'm going to go ahead and use a green sticky mat today for my Cricut. Gotta move my Cricut back a little bit. And then I like to use this little extender when I'm cutting to keep the material flatter instead of curling over the edge. Here I'm just getting my vinyl all measured out. And I'm going to be using a gold vinyl today, which I actually really like to use. This gold vinyl and another holographic vinyl I have. It just is a little bit thinner. I think it's a little bit easier to work with than the other thicker permanent vinyl I've used before. I think it sticks better and it just lays nicer since, like I said, it's thinner than the other permanent vinyl. Alright, now that I got that cut out, I'm going to go ahead and put it on my green Cricut mat so that I can get it cut out. I like to use this little roller to roll the vinyl onto the mat after I stick it down with my hand. I like to use this with my sticker paper because I just feel like it really sticks the whole piece onto the mat. Now I'm going to put this into my Cricut and get it going. Here you can see it's cutting out the initials and the flower. Now I want to show you the top of this flower. I lined it up just perfectly, just barely any farther down, and I would have had to recut this whole flower because the top would not have made it onto that gold vinyl. Since these cups have been sitting in storage for a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and give them a good clean with a microfiber cloth and then some rubbing alcohol just to make sure I get all the oil off that cup before I stick the vinyl to it. Before I can stick the vinyl onto the cup, I first need to weed off the back of the pattern so that all that's left is the actual initials and the flower. Another thing I really like about this thinner vinyl is it weeds super easy and it just pretty much pulls off the pattern. Here you can see the flower coming together. Look how nice that looks. So satisfying to see all that background vinyl just come right off. The only thing I have left to do before I want to stick this on is put on the transfer tape. I found the best way to put the transfer tape on is to pull off one corner, get it lined up, and stick the one corner down, and then kind of scrape the rest of the transfer tape onto the vinyl. Now I'm just going to pull up that transfer tape to pull the vinyl away from the backing that it comes on so I can stick it onto the glass cup. Sometimes I have to give a little bit of a scrape, especially to a design like this flower, just to make sure the edges of the flower are all coming up. And now this is ready to put on the glass. I start by centering the initials, sticking them on, trying to make sure I'm not getting any air bubbles trapped under there. And then I just wrap the flower around the back and get that stuck down as well. Now I'm going to run my scraper that has a little felt edge on it over the letters and over the flower just to make sure they are stuck on really good. And then I'm going to go ahead and peel off that transfer tape so that all that's left on the glass is the gold vinyl. After pulling off the transfer tape, I started looking at the cup and I could clearly see that I had not correctly centered the flower behind the initials. A lot of times if this is just slightly off, I'll leave it, but in this case, it was very clear that it was not centered. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that flower off, and then I will cut a new flower and just stick it on separate from the initials. Hopefully I can just eyeball it enough to get it centered a bit better than this one was. Now that I got the original flower off, I'm going to give this another clean. Since my hands have been all over it, I'm sure there's some oil on it, and I want to make sure the second time I put this flower on, I do not have to peel it off again. Here you can see me sticking the new flower on. I can already clearly see that it's going to look more centered than the one I had done the first time, so I'm pretty happy with the finished product here. Like I said, as you can see, this looks more centered when you're looking at it from the front and when you look at it from the back. Now that I have the first cup done, I'm going to go ahead and clean the second cup and get it all prepped to stick the vinyl on for this second cup. I learned my lesson on the first one, so I went ahead and just cut the vinyl pieces separately on this one, the initials and the flower separate, instead of doing them in the same piece of vinyl with the same piece of transfer tape. Here you can see I'm sticking that second flower on and just eyeballing it based on what I can see on the initials on the front of the glass. I'm going to peel off that transfer tape. Part of the project is always so satisfying just to see that finished product on there without any obstructions. And here you can see the full glass with the flower on the back and the initials on the front. Alright, here you can see both the glasses together. I filled them with some scrunched up green paper just to give as a gift, and so you could kind of clearly see the front and the backs of the glass without seeing through them and the other side interfering with the side you're actually trying to look at. Thanks again for watching!